And good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful start to the week. You're listening to Modern Mystic Radio on A1R Psychic Radio, the world's #1 psychic radio network, and you're also watching on Moonstruck TV. Right, so I have a very, very special guest with me today. Her name is Lauren Kurth. She is a quantum mentor, and she's also an ET experiencer, amongst many, many other things. So I'm just going to bring her straight in now. Hi, Lauren. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. Good. It's great to be here. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very well, thank you. And it's lovely to have you on. So please tell us a little bit more about this quantum movement, how you got into that, what's it all about?
Sure. Well, I've been a healer for about 25 years, and I've worked with my own work in consciousness for about 6 years with my clients. And about a year ago, I was looking for more in my life. I'd hit a bit of a rough patch with my health and with my business, and life just wasn't flowing. And I came across the quantum movement with my colleague called Jason Reynolds, and started working with an amazing program called Quantum You Becoming Your Authority. And it's completely transformed my life, my health, every area of my life, actually. So I've been working in the program for about 5 months. I found it so profound and so amazing that when I went to teach my last workshop, I realised that the work I was learning through the quantum movement with the program was, exceeded my expectations in consciousness and my awareness of myself, the presence that I had with myself in my life. So I made the decision to learn the teachings, and from there I've become a mentor within the quantum movement, supporting people going through a program called Immediate Zen and Quantum You Becoming Your Authority. So it's pretty amazing, yeah.
Okay, sorry, say that again.
You're right. I'll just give you a little bit of background about where I was at when I started the program. I'd had melanoma twice in the last sort of 4 years. I had a bowel perforation that was very serious, and from the problems with my stomach, I ended up with a skin condition that had covered 80% of my body, and my body was raw and weeping. I was in a lot of physical pain, I was in emotional pain, mental pain, and I really, really hit a roadblock in my life. And just using the work and the processes that we use, I'd healed my skin condition within about 2 weeks. I was also having quite serious seizures at the time that were quite random. I've had no more seizures. My level of mental clarity, everything has completely transformed. I've moved my entire family an hour away from where we were living, and I did that. I look back at what I've done in the last 3 months, and it just blows my mind and how easy that's been. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how does this work? How does the quantum movement, how does the program work? Tell us a little bit more about the program.
Sure. So the program is a self-paced program that you receive. It sort of goes, it's self-paced, so 4 to 6 months. You receive video recordings with the teachings and also walk through documents with the deeper learnings of the teachings. We apply a 3-step process called the quantum movement. So it's about removing energy that doesn't belong to you. The nature of energy is to come to you and flow through you, and we take on other people's energy, the environment, all of the things that were in us. We're also filled with beliefs that aren't our own, that create the conditions for our life and the way we work in life, and the programs and fears and things that hold us back in life. So we use a process to remove energy. We use a process to fill ourselves up with quantum sourced energy, and we use some really, really powerful protections as well. We also teach you to connect with your superconscious or higher self at a level that was well beyond what I thought was possible. A guru might tell you that it could take you 25 years to get to that level. But we learn it in a pretty short relative space of time. The program itself is about finding out who you are, so that you can go internally for all the answers to everything without making someone else an authority outside of yourself. When it comes to your health, we trust doctors and scientists and medication and all those things. Whereas when you're working with your own frequency signature, you don't need to go outside of yourself or anything. There's no challenge in life, whether it be chronic illness, relationship, finances, business, phobias, you name it, that can't be overcome using this process. The process is so simple, and when it is applied and applied to completion, it works every single time, and that was the real difference for me with my own work. I'd learnt some really amazing things, and I've done quite a lot. I'm a hypnotherapist, a sound healer. I've studied reprogramming the subconscious mind. I've worked with unified physics, geometry, thought field therapy, which is a tapping on meridians to release energy. They were great, but they quite difficult to do in the moment, especially when you're at a bit of a hard place. You can't just stop on the street and start tapping when you're being challenged in the moment. Whereas I found with these processes, I could use them in any moment and they worked instantly. So that's what really made me realise that I had to teach this work. And I also found for my clients, after a session, they got great relief in the moment, but then they found it really hard to replicate in their own lives, and their results weren't consistent. And I've never found anything like this program before, which is why I've decided to jump on board. It's been absolutely amazing.
So can it be used for absolutely any area of life? Would you say that?
Absolutely. It can be used in business, if you need to create more clients, more finances in your relationships. It really gets you to a place of presence within yourself so that you can find the answers to whatever you need in the moment and not be triggered. So in relationships, that's really important. Our partners, our families, all those sorts of things can trigger us. Using these processes, you can get to a state of ease. And the state of ease, we hear a lot in the healing field that we need to create an environment within our body to heal itself. Our body has a natural intelligence, which is our own frequency state. Some people might find it a bit fluffy to call it love. That is your own frequency, and everyone's frequency is different. So when you're embodying more of yourself and you're making yourself a priority and getting at ease, you can move through absolutely any challenge. Chronic disease, as I said, anywhere. So it's really about creating that environment within yourself, knowing what you want for you, not what you've been told you should be by society, what we're told in school, or by expectations of our parents and our partners and our children. And it's something we don't do a lot, is put ourselves first. But if you can't put yourself first, and if you don't love yourself, it's really hard to receive love from other people. And that's where we go into pain, and we slip out of a state of ease or a connected state into a state of our ego, which for most people, the ego is running the show based on those fears and programs. So getting connected with your higher self and embodying fully your own frequency signature puts you into a connected state so you can create that environment within your body to overcome anything.
You mentioned earlier about the teachings. Where have these teachings come from? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Sure. My colleague Jason Reynolds is the creator of the program and the teacher, and he's been inspired by many people throughout his journey and worked with a lot of different modalities as well. And he started working with this energy through tapping into his higher self. When you are connected with your higher self, you can get the answers to anything. So he stayed in the question and asking questions of yourself to find out what's the next step to take in every moment is key to this learning. And so Jason went through a time of exploration within himself where he was asking questions to get the steps on how to deliver this to other people. And he's been working with it in more of a corporate field by referral for about 9 years. And he's helped businesses that were liquidating overcome that and get back to making millions of dollars again. He's helped people with very serious disease that, had no possible more treatment available for their disease to overcome that in a very short space of time. So really using the energy when you're clearing away all that doesn't serve you and you remove all the energy that we've taken on over a lifetime from other people, we create a space for ourselves to step into. And so we find this clarity, and with the connection with the higher self, that's how you get the answers. So that's how Jason has brought this program about, and he's perfected it over a period of time, and he's recently decided that he'd like to share this with the world. So I actually came into a pilot program to test it, how it would work in a group format, and it's been absolutely amazing. And so that's where the teachings came from.
Okay, fantastic. And if somebody was interested in finding out more about it, how can they get more information?
Sure. So we don't have a public website as such. We like to connect with people. So it's usually done by referral. So people can have a phone conversation with me, but I do have a link on my website and my phone number if anyone wants to contact me. And my website is laurenmkurth.com. And on my homepage there is a link and a code to go on into the quantum movement, where there's a series of videos explaining in detail what it is you get in the program, how it's applied, the lifetime access to the content, the mentoring that happens. You have full support. We've created an amazing Facebook private community that's confidential, and we do regular webinars in there answering people's questions or answering them directly if they're needed. And so there's full support given the whole time, and you also have access to that Facebook page as well, so that when you've completed the program and you want to continue moving forward and growing, you've always got the support available.
Okay, wonderful. Now, also, you are an ET experiencer as well, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about that. When did that first start for you?
When I was 4 years old, I had my first UFO experience in the middle of the night. I was woken and went to the window to see a classic disc-shaped UFO, and contact has sort of happened for me from there. And in 2013, I plucked up the courage to start my own public group, and I have done some training with Stephen Greer and worked with quite a few different people, but I formulated my own processes based on using my higher self and the contact that I was having. But since working with the quantum movement, I'm actually about to launch my brand new protocols and the Quantum Contact Global Movement, and I'm using some of these processes that we learn in the program, especially the connection with the superconscious and higher self, because within the UFO field there's not a lot of answers. A lot of people are having amazing experiences, but they don't understand them. They don't receive information. They don't know what the agenda is and all of those things. And for quite some time through my own work, I've really been trying to work out how I can get that for myself and to be able to share that with the world, because I feel like this has been part of my purpose in life. And so I've been working with these processes, and I want to teach through global leadership training people around the world to be able to connect with their higher self on the level that we teach within the program, so that we can tune in. Can you imagine 10 people sitting in the group, all able to access their superconscious? When you see a UFO, you can tune in through the higher self. Who's in that craft? What is the agenda? What is the message? Where do you come from? What species are you? All of those questions, because the higher self never lies to you, and it never gives you information you already know. That's the other thing. And when we're taking the action of actually tuning in and capturing and recording what we're getting, that is the action that we're taking, so that we can get true information that's relative to us and the environment. So that's pretty exciting, and that's all come from the work in the program, just through tuning into my higher self and asking, how can I do this? How can I get these answers? How can I share this with other people? And now I'm starting a global movement.
Oh, wow, that sounds absolutely amazing. So tell us a little bit about your plans for the future. What's going to be happening? What's coming up?
My plans for the future? Well, at the moment, I'm still a student within the Quantum Movement program. I've actually let go of all of my other work in consciousness and healing. So I'm no longer doing any of that, and I'm totally committed to learning the teachings within the program. So eventually that will be my role. Also as a mentor. I really, really love that. It's just a profound experience and brings me such joy to see someone struggling with a pattern that they've been living by their whole life. It's been holding them back in every way. To be able to mentor them through a simple process that works in the moment and change their life is absolutely amazing. So my real focus at the moment is the quantum movement. I do still do my sound healing because I love it, but I also add the processes into the sound healing and meditation as well. It's taking over all of that I do, which I'm very happy with, and also the global movement. So I'm going to be launching that early 2018. I've already started putting the content together and involve myself all over the world is my intention. And I also run my monthly Skywatch groups here in Australia and Queensland that I will continue with as well, and building my team and teaching this work so that people become stronger within themselves and sharing this with the world, sharing the quantum movement with the world. So.
Oh, that sounds absolutely fantastic. We look forward to seeing some of that. Is there like a particular or memorable experience, almost profound experience, when you've been working with the quantum movement that you can kind of sort of highlight here?
Yeah, sure. I've got a couple actually. And this is me being very vulnerable and sharing this with the world. I had some things in my past that were unresolved to do with abuse as a child, and that happened from a family member. And from there, my relationship with my dad, my beautiful dad, was never quite the same. And I know that was because I was always reacting from that hurt child that in that moment couldn't bring love to herself and was traumatised. And it wasn't my dad that I had the experience with, it was somebody else. And my focus was really to heal my relationship with my dad before he came over. And so my colleague had given me a deeper process to use just when I had a thought about my father come up. And so I used this process of bringing my frequency signature to myself. I was driving at the time with my daughter, and in my mind, it was like a postcard opened up in my mind. And I actually went back to the first time that the abuse happened to me. And Jason had made me aware that there are only two connected states. You're either connected or you're not. So you're either in a connected state able to bring your frequency and love to yourself, or you're in your ego or pain state. So, of course, in that state, and at the time when it happened, I wasn't able to be connected. So I just connected and brought the energy to myself. And the most profound thing happened, and it's like a postcard opened up in front of my eyes, and I could see it happening. I brought the energy to myself, and the whole situation changed, and it was like rewriting my story. And in that moment, once I cleared the energy that I'd been holding in my body, I felt love and compassion for that person that I'd felt before that actually happened. The following day, I connected with my higher self, and it told me that there was more to clear. And so I did the same process again, and this time 7 screens opened up in my mind, and I saw every time it happened, and 2 times that something happened that I wasn't aware of, that was being held in my body, that was creating the disease that I had in my body, and it was creating injuries in my body that I believed were linked to food or allergies, and that wasn't the case. The superconscious knows all. And so I did the same process again and again. All of those situations changed, which was really huge. It was really hard to wrap my head around because the feeling wasn't there anymore. And I almost had to have the conversation with myself, did it really happen? Because it was literally gone from my body and from my energy. I got out of my car and my knee hurt. Now, I broke my knee about 1.5 years ago. I broke 2 bones, the 2 major bones, and I dislocated my knee and tore the ACL ligament off the bone. And 2 months ago, I was supposed to have a major knee reconstruction. It was pretty painful, and it was really limiting my life. I got out of the car after the experience of bringing the energy to myself and clearing that, and I thought I'd re-broke my knee. I was in so much pain, and I realised at that moment that my knee was where I was holding the pain from that abuse. Now, I broke my knee twice. The first time was just after I'd met my husband, and the second time was after I'd started dating a new partner. So I realised that that had to do with the trust with men and feeling safe in my life and making the right decisions. So I did a quick process and cleared that from my knee, and I actually made the decision to cancel my knee reconstruction. I know within myself and within my heart that my higher self can heal my knee. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know how that's going to happen. But I know that these processes keep bringing the deeper levels that I'm ignorant to within myself that need to be cleared and moved through by getting at ease towards that healing. Now, since then, I've had no swelling, no pain. My knee hasn't dislocated. It hasn't slipped. I've started exercising again. In fact, I found myself running the other day. I was running after something, and afterwards I thought, wow, I ran, whereas I couldn't do that before. So, that's been a huge experience. Now, as a healer, I've been working on that since I was about 20 years old. My ego was telling me I'd healed it, but yet I kept speaking about it, even if it was just an example. And the fact that it was coming up means that it's still there. And the great thing about this program is we don't have to revisit the past. If you're thinking about it, it's happening right now inside you. So you can heal it right now inside you. You don't have to go to counselling and talk about it for hours. You don't have to do hours of dedicated work and difficult processes. It's just about being aware, listening to yourself, listening to your deeper truth, and trusting. You know, we all have an intuition. We hear about intuition, and it's not something that you are taught. It's something that's innate to you. Mm-hmm. And so the difference is that we don't trust it. Yeah. And these processes bring you to a state of trust where you're not just knowing, where you're understanding, and that's amazing. And I want to talk about it as far as healing, because you become your own healer. And I like to explain it to my clients. If I was to give you a healing right now, Sarah, as long as I'm vibrating at a high level, you'll get some benefit for that and you'll feel good for a while, but your body's natural intelligence is to come back to its own frequency signature. Mm-hmm. So eventually, if you haven't done the emotional, mental, that work within yourself that created the issue in the first place, which is probably something that happened a long time ago that you're not aware of, that's hidden in your subconscious, the issue usually returns. So your body will spend all that time and energy actually just returning back to its own frequency signature, which is why it returns. And the difference with this is when you're working with your own frequency signature, your body gets into perfect balance the way it's supposed to be. It goes back to that natural state of ease, and that's where the real permanent healing happens. That's really exciting. You don't actually have to go outside of yourself for anything.
Oh, that's fantastic. So you're teaching people basically to heal themselves.
Yes, and to know themselves. I'm 42. I feel for the first time in my life I truly know who I am. I know what I want, not based on what other people want from me, what I've been taught, what I've been programmed and conditioned to believe. All of those things are irrelevant to me. The only thing that's relevant to me is the answers to my own questions. What's in my highest good? Am I serving and loving myself? And that's how we truly grow, because you can't receive love from other people. You can only love yourself, and we hear that all the time. But not many people teach you the how-to, and this teaches you the how-to. So you can never really give love to anyone. You can love people and you can have a loving experience, but you can only love yourself. And so when you love yourself, you receive at the level that you're at. So that just makes everything in your life more amazing. You're following your own freedoms, your own truths, and you can create the reality that you want in your life. And the effect from that is that we infect the environment. And this is really a shift in consciousness. This is about the highest level of consciousness we can get to as a human being. And of course, we're a collective, so when we work on ourselves, we work on the whole.
Just remind everybody before we finish, and thank you so much, Lauren, it's been fantastic. Just remind everybody of how they can find out more, get hold of you, etc., etc.
Sure. So you can contact me through my website. On the first page, you'll come to the homepage. It's a link to the quantum movement with a coupon to put that into your application. And my website is laurenmperth.com.